Hi, my name is Skyla Ramirez. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody session today. Let's get up and get out of our seats. Let's come into easy mountain position. That means take your feet out to any width you want, just making sure that the toes are tracking forward. This way we're trying to open up the edges of the hips. Now you could even turn your toes in this more casual mountain expression so that it looks like you are pigeon-toed, but not knock-kneed. So the toes can go in a little bit, but the knees stay open. From here, let's just take a quick little sway with the arms, stretching out the sides and the trunk of the body. The arms are going to lightly pat against the hips and the thighs and the low back with this. Generating some active energy with spine rotation while we have those toes in just a little bit, loosening up the low back and the side hips. Just a couple more. Let's slow it down so we can come to a still point. Inhale, sweeping the left arm straight up and overhead. From here, lean into your left foot. Maybe even feel as if you're pushing with the right foot to lean to the left side. We could even reach over the head just a little bit, reaching down with the right hand for the outside of our right shoe. Big breath in, pull out of that rib. Exhale, bring it to center and lower the hand down. Inhaling, taking that right arm up and over. Nice big stretch. Leaning over into the right hip. So maybe we are pushing with our left foot to lean to the right. Right arm overhead, side bends through the body. Big inhale, pull up and out of that rib. And now bring it to center. Let's flow it one breath, one movement a few times. Inhale up and over. Exhale down, hand to the side. Other side, inhale up, reach it over. Exhale, center and down. We're going to keep that rhythm a few more times with the breath. And while we're doing this, thinking of entirely stretching or arcing the body over. So you're making a standing crescent moon expression. This is a flowing crescent moon pose. So we're stretching with this crescent position, the entire side body from the arch of the foot through the side hip, up through the armpit, all the way over through the crown of the head. It's a really big fascial network we're targeting here. Let's even this up on the left and the right. When we feel that this is even for us left and right, let's bring it to center. Take the feet out so that they are at the width of the hips or the pelvis bones. And if we imagine that we had a yoga mat today, we want the edges of our feet to be in alignment with our yoga mat. So it may look like we're turning our toes in, but really we're just squaring off the edges of the feet for a nice firm foundation. Let's find a nice little bounce in the knees. From here, pushing the hips back, having those hips pressed back behind us, finding cow pose. And as we inhale, we're drawing those hips forward, tucking the tailbone under, coming into cat pose. Inhale, moving back into cow. Exhale, taking it into cat pose. Inhale, flip the hips. It can come down really low. You could lift really high with the chest. Exhale, pull it forward, tucking the tailbone, rounding the spine. Let's do just two more. Inhale, it can be a very subtle, more of a neutral position, feeling like cow, or it can be a big push back. Exhale, pull the hips forward and round the spine. Inhale, cow with a flat back. Let's walk the hands up. Take the feet out wider than the hips. And from here, let's lift up our right toe and turn that right toe out to the side. So left toe forward, right toe out to the side, perpendicular feet. Let's bend that right knee and bring the arms out with the palms up, getting a little bit more energy in that upper body. Inhale, both legs straight. clapping the hands up overhead, looking up at the hands, and then exhale, float those hands down. Palms stay up while we bend the right knee. Inhale, sweeping it up. Palms press. Exhale, bring it down nice and slow. One more with our eyes open. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, slowly sinking down. Now let's try 3 with our eyes closed. Inhale up, closing the eyes, feeling when the body has any shifts or subtle changes to accommodate our center of gravity. Let's do just one more. Of course, we could open the eyes at any time, especially if we just want to feel a little more secure in the practice. Let's hold it with that right knee bent and the arms down, taking the left hand down to our waist, right arm straight up, holding on to 100 helium balloons, maybe make it 500 helium balloons today. We'll change it up a little bit. Inhale, reach it up, keep bending that right knee. This way we really isolate that side right waistline and the liver. One more big inhale. Exhale, right hand to the right thigh, left arm up and flow it overhead. Inhale, push off the leg. Knee stays steady, reach up, right hand, inhale, reach. Exhale, right hand to the right thigh, left arm overhead. Let's try flowing it a few times, hinging at the waist. Inhale, right arm up, lean back a little bit. Exhale, right arm down, left arm overhead. 2 more. Inhaling up, reverse warrior. Exhale down, side angle. Keeping that right knee steady, hips are steady, actively hinging and tilting through that waist. Exhale, warrior 2. Let's bring our hands to the hips, rotating that right toe forward and now the left toe out. As we look at our feet, if we were to pull our left foot straight back to meet the right, the left heel would be at the arch of the right foot. This is known as heel to arch alignment. It usually puts the bones in a neutral position in relationship to the pelvis and the tailbone. From here, let's stabilize our core, lengthening out through the arms, palms overhead. Inhale, straight legs, press the palms together overhead. Exhale, bending that left knee, and then sinking into our lunge again. Inhale, bring it up. Tracking the hands for these first 3 or 4, watching how the body is moving. So we're imprinting a bit of an image into the pattern of movement, into the brain. Now closing the eyes, 3 or 4 with the eyes closed. Inhale, rising up, having an image of the body from the mind space that we can refer to, possibly creating just a little more stability and a little more balance in our pose. Just 1 or 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more if you like. From here, the left palm is up, right hand is down. Left knee and hips are completely anchored. Reaching up with the left hand, even looking up if we want to maybe experiment strengthening the neck muscles just a little bit. If it starts to hurt, look back over the right shoulder. This way we can work with mobility, not compromising the safety of our neck. 1 more big inhale. Exhale, side angle, left hand to the left thigh, right arm sweeps up, and maybe we even take it over the head with the palm facing down. Inhale, rising up, right hand down, left arm extends. Exhale, left hand down, right arm overhead. Flowing it with the breath. Inhale, push off, reach up. Exhale, bring it down, take it overhead. Inhale up and reach. Exhale down, arm overhead. Just 1 more. Inhale up, reach it up. Exhale, warrior 2 this time. Reaching out through the fingertips. From here, let's turn that left toe forward, inching the feet in, bringing the feet to the width of the pelvis bones or the hips so we can work on a little bit of balance with a back bend. Let's circle the arms up and overhead. Big breath in, little bit of balance, shifting forward. Tiny lift of the heels. Let's shift our eyes maybe to where the wall meets the ceiling in front of us, and then lift the chin a little bit to meet that gaze in some way. Turning the palms back behind us. As we push the palms back, we may begin to lift the ribs a little more, opening up the intestines. Dropping those heels. From here, swan diving, little forward fold, hands coming down onto the thighs for support. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, completely relax the upper back and let the body hang loose like a rag doll. We could even let the hands come down like a rag doll, opening up the back and the shoulder region, shaking our head yes, and then turning the head left and right. Walking our hands up to our thighs or shins. From here, reverse swan dive, bring it up. Holding the arms overhead, shifting forward and back just a few times, eventually shifting forward, tiny lift in the heels, turning the palms back behind us, gazing to where the wall meets the ceiling, lifting the chin to meet the gaze, lengthening the spine, and then maybe pressing back. We could even thrust the hips forward just a little bit. Big inhale. And now exhale, relax the feet, swan dive, hands to the thighs. Relax the upper back completely. Hang the body like a rag doll. Let the head shake out, alleviating any excessive tension or pressure, any compression that may have built up during our morning sitting in front of computers and such, just allowing the neck to lengthen with ease. Let's walk the hands to our thighs. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Taking the left foot back a very short stride. From here, we're keeping that right knee bent. Let's make fist with our hands. Inhale, circle those fists back and put the fist on the low back for support. Another alternative here that could be comfortable is opening the hands and putting the entire heel and palm of the hand on the low back down to the buttocks region for support. From here, we're pulling those elbows back. If you imagine they're like butterfly wings that you would flap, pull those elbows back, flapping the wings back with the elbows. Inhale, allowing the ribs to protrude forward and up in a supported back bend. We can also lift the chin just a little bit as a natural extension of the spine. We're holding it here, practicing strengthening the muscles in the upper back and spine and shoulders, and also building endurance with these muscles. At least a couple more easy breaths. Big inhale into the chest. Exhale, soften. One more. From here, we're keeping that right knee bent, left leg back. Let's tuck our left hand into the low back. Reach the right arm straight up overhead, and then try patting yourself on the back here. Bend the elbows as if you were going to yawn. So the sensation is like, really opening up here. We're exaggerating a stretch that moves from that inner left hip all the way up into the right shoulder and the right armpit. Try closing the eyes. This can also be a balance and center of gravity challenge for us. Imagine that your breath is filling the lower left hip first. It moves through the navel, and then we fill up the upper right lung. Exhaling in place. One more. Inhale, left hip, through the navel, up to the right lung, and then relax. Let's take that right hand down, stepping with our feet at the width of the pelvis bones, hand to the heart. Stepping our right foot back a casual stride, finding that warrior one foundation. Same pose that we had on the other side, different dominant leg. Holding it right here as we breathe easy in our warrior one expression. Maybe even closing the eyes just for a moment to feel a sensation of support and grounding coming up from the earth. So in the same way that we can step down into the earth for support, physics tells us that the earth is always pushing up into the body for support as well. So maybe start to feel like you have a little lift here. When you're ready, we're making fist with the hands, circling the hands around into the low back. As we inhale, pulling those elbows back like butterfly wings, allowing the ribs to protrude out and forward, then lift the ribs up with the sternum and the collarbone, lifting the chin just a little bit, endurance, strength, mobility. This standing back bend embodies so many great healthy qualities for us today. Big inhale into the chest. Exhale, relax. One more big breath in. And now relax. This time we're tucking that right hand into the low back, lifting the left arm straight up overhead with the right leg back. Patting ourselves on the back, bending the elbows, imagining that you're going to yawn, so it's that type sensation. Closing our eyes as we keep that left knee bent, right leg straight. And now finding that breath, breathe down into the lower front of the right hip. Let that breath pass through your gut and then pull it up to the left armpit. Exhale, soften. 2 more breaths like that. Inhaling, right hip, belly, left rib and armpit. Exhale, last one. Right hip, center belly, left shoulder and armpit. And now relax it out. From here, let the hands come down, shake it off. Let's take the feet out to a tiny plie. So we're going to have just a little space between the heels with the toes facing out. This is a stretch that we practice if you've been joining me in real time. We practiced this last Wednesday. It is a very big stretch for the side of the body, and it promotes healthy spine fluids. So for this one, toes are out, and we're bending our knees. We're lifting our left heel and sweeping our left foot behind our right foot. Left foot behind the right foot. Keep the right knee bent and straighten the left leg. Lean back into that left foot with the right knee bent. Let's place our right hand on our hip. Inhale the left arm straight up and overhead. And this really is almost a variation of the crescent that we practiced in our warm-up, but it is a deeper stretch. It's going to be crescent moon magnified. Inhale, reach up at the top of the breath and reach over. Holding it there, holding that crescent moon. This is also called an IT band stretch or a lateral fascial stretch. Big inhale, reach. And now exhale, bring it to center. Lower that left arm. Let's step to center. Both knees are bent. This time we're lifting our right heel. Sweeping the right foot behind the left foot, behind the left knee. Bending that left knee, straighten the right leg, and lean back into the right foot for support. We're keeping our right hand on the hip, our left hand on the hip this time, opening the right hand. Inhale, sweep it up. And at the top of the breath, just take another sip of breath. Just a little more, and then lean over. And we can see that there is that crescent energy in the pose as we have this lovely C shape or this arcing through the bones and the body. One more big breath in. Breathe into the upper right lung. Reach that arm over just a little bit more at the top of the breath. When you're ready, bring it to center and hand to the hip, shifting forward, both knees bent. Bring it to neutral. Go ahead and kick it out. Let's practice a quick calf stretch for the body today. There are connections behind the knees that can get really tight when we have to sit for a long period of time. And when we stand up, those connections pull on our back. So we're going to try to work on those tiny connections in the back of the knee. From a standing position, you could have your feet really close together here if you want. I'm just going to bend my knees and push my hips back. Hands are on the thighs. Extending my right leg forward, lifting my right toe, keeping the left knee bent. From here, we can push back a little more through the hips as we drop the chest. And as we do this, it will intensify the stretch or the length behind the knee joint. You might feel it in your Achilles tendon or even in your calves. Relax the jaw. If the foot feels accessible, we can reach down with the right hand and pull on our shoe up towards our hip joints. Keeping the back flat, belly in tight. Big breath into the nose. And now exhale from the throat. Walk the hands up to the thigh. Drag that right heel in. Keep the knee bent. And just tap your foot around. Tap it around. So we're actually externally rotating, internally rotating with that thigh. Just checking in with that hip. All right, let's bring it to center. Feet are pretty close together. There's a little bit of space. Hips are pushing back. Back is flat. Unhinge the hips. We practiced all of this in our warm-up today. From here, lifting that left heel, extend the leg forward, keeping a bend in the right knee. Pushing the hips back a little more. The back stays flat. That way we're actively strengthening and supporting the spine while we're stretching the lower extremities. Exhale from the throat. Pull that left toe up. Maybe even reach with the left hand, keeping a flat back. Navel is in tight. The breath is exaggerated. Another big exhale. Let's take our time to walk those hands up, bending our knees, and now taking that left toe out and in. So I say we're taking the left toe out and in, but really it's the entire femur bone that we are rotating out and in. So we have really gotten into the entire hip joint today. Front, back, sides, inner hip area and pelvis. Let's come to a still point. Shake it all off. Let's end with just a little bit of acupressure today in the face. And I'm going to get really close. That way you're able to see me. You're welcome to stand or sit for this. For this acupressure in the face, we're taking the pinky fingers down low, just outside the center of the chin. The ring fingers are going to curl in right here by our smile lines. Middle fingers go directly below the pupils onto the top of the cheekbones. Index fingers come up somewhere around the brow. It could be pretty high or out to the side. Now the thumbs are optional here. So the thumbs can push in the small flap of skin on your ears, but then you wouldn't be able to hear me very well. So maybe hold it here just for a second and let those thumbs rest in. You're just going to push. And after you push, you're going to press out. So we're stretching some of the lymph nodes in the face. We're accessing some essential acupressure points also that can help to alleviate emotional distress. All of these different nerves and muscles in the face that help to animate us and look like a human emoji, they all connect to a vagus nerve. That is the nerve that can regulate our entire stress response in our body. So just smile, sit tall, take in a deep breath, and now pull those fingers out. Relax your hands. One more big inhale. Hands at the heart for closing. If you'd like to join me in our tradition of Namaste, bowing together. Hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to join me for meditation tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.